April 2024, we're 2 years into the RIA and a lot has changed. So just from a basic level, what is an urban and rural TEA? These are the two big set-aside categories that the RIA established, the Reform and Integrity Act of 2022. Urban high unemployment projects, these are projects that are in urban areas but have a high level of unemployment. They get 10% of the total visas in any given year for EB5. This typically is about 1,000, right? There's 10,000 total visas in an EB5 category. There's more complications to that. Please watch some of our other webinars where we've delved into more details about how many visas are actually available every year and what the demand is. But on a basic level, you're talking about 10% of the total number available. That comes out to about 1,000. Rural, on the other hand, gives you actually double that. It gives 20%, which comes out to about 2,000 every single year. In addition, rural has the distinct advantage, and then rural basically means you're outside of a major metropolitan area, you're not near a big city, you're not counted as part of a major metropolitan area within the United States. Rural projects get a huge leg up because they get priority processing. And the question early on was, what is priority processing? We don't have a clear answer, but we know it exists. And we can say that very confidently now because we've got projects that are both urban and rural TEA, and the rural applications we've seen double-digit approvals on the 526Es, and the urbans, we've got projects that are already approved, but we're still waiting to see some of those 526Es start getting approved. So a lot of movement on the rural side, not as much on the urban side, and that's a distinct advantage of rural. The other advantage I already kind of mentioned is the larger amount of space in the rural category because it's double essentially. And then what we've seen based on the data that's been released and published through the findings of nonprofits like AIIA is that a lot of people in the first year of the RIA invested into urban TEA projects. What that means is we've almost had a 2-to-1 ratio of urban people filing within urban projects versus people filing within rural. So what that means is you've got double the amount of filings with half the amount of space. Comes into a 4-to-1 kind of multiplier effect of there's a lot of people who are waiting in line at this point in the urban TEA projects waiting to get a green card, and there's enough space to accommodate more on the rural side for rural projects in EB5. So if you're an Indian and let's say you're in the United States, you're already sitting through the grueling backlog of EB2, EB3, and you want to avoid dealing with that in the future in the EB5 category as well, especially since you're investing so much money, it's kind of a no-brainer at this point that you have to go into a rural project that has the space. It's not going to retrogress as rapidly and as brutally as an urban TEA project would with the limited amount of space that's in that category, and go from there, because that's going to give you the best shot at not just getting your approval faster because of priority processing, but also not having to worry about a backlog because of the limited space in the category.
And this is something that's not only really applicable for Indian-born clients, but also clients from other high-volume countries, particularly China, right? Where there's too many applications, that's what causes these backlogs. And over time, as more and more investors join and get in line in both the urban and rural TEA categories, these backlogs over time will just continue to get longer and longer. All right, so now we'll spend just a few minutes walking through our urban and rural projects. I think high level, one of the things that we're focused on as a company is to provide options for investors. You'll see many companies in the market only focusing on rural, some only focusing on urban. It may be because a developer is only doing projects in a certain area of the country. We're focused on EB5 high level, and because we have regional centers that cover the entire country, we're looking for the best rural and urban projects available across the entire country. So we're pretty geographic, agnostic in terms of our investment thesis. What we're looking for are high quality projects, ideally already under construction. They have other financing in place. They've been underwritten by major banks. They're already profitable. They have strong sales. And Some are rural, obviously, for the advantages that Ahmed discussed, faster processing, greater number of visas available, and some are urban. And there really is no one size fits all today for EB5 investors. We have investors from more than 60 different countries. Many of them are in the United States already at the time they make an EB5 investment. Many of them are abroad in China, India, Canada, Europe, South America. And so with these new reserve visa set-asides, combined with historic backlogs from some of these higher volume countries, and the ability to now do concurrent filing, which we didn't really spend any time on today, but basically on that, if you're in the US already, and you're on F1, H1B, TN, if you're Canadian, et cetera, then you qualify to be able to adjust status and get a work EAD and travel advanced parole document in just a few months, which is really beneficial, particularly for Indian-born clients who are on H1B. And so, what country you were born in, where you are in the US or abroad at the time of your investment, and also your preferences. Is your primary goal to get the green card as fast as possible? Is your primary goal to get the money back as fast as possible? And so you're going to want, a shorter term investment. So you've got to kind of triangulate, the facts and circumstances for your specific situation. What country were you born in? Where are you living now? Do you have the ability to adjust status or not? How old are your kids? How important is it to get the green card faster? Do you not have kids, or are you just looking to retire? And then, what are your personal preferences? Is it more important to get the green card as fast as you can, or get the money back as fast as you can? How important is getting a higher return on your investment, versus how much risk you're comfortable in taking in an EB5 project?